Alright, we're back. This is like Imperial Warlord 1. So I would have total of 6 Gazanti groups, and each Gazanti will represent as 1. So I would have quite a bit. I'd have 12 Gazantis in total. The squadron, each Gazanti can hold 4 TIE fighters. Obviously with the skeleton crew, so there's not much people. Any stormtroopers or officers, there's probably like 5 or 6 at most. Probably some engineers. But they're all basic TIE fighters. I would probably have 3 light cruisers. I'll try to scrounge up as much light cruisers as possible. But I think 3 would be the best. With interceptors. Why am I using interceptors? A lot of them, because if we've seen that Pelion and Moff Gideon and other officers in the Imperial channel counts or whatever you want to call it, they had a lot of bombers and TIE interceptors. They did have a little bit of TIE fighters, but they mostly had interceptors and bombers. So, and the roles will change with the interceptors. So they're faster and they're just better overall. No shields, but still got to make do with a little bit better. I would go with a command version, Moff Gideon's style flagship. Instead of the 190 meters, I would go with the 325 meters. Medium cruiser, kind of like command. I would go with an Imperial shuttle with an interceptor. And out of these two, I would, it's debatable. I would probably want this one because it's more heavy hitter. But you don't want to be like, hey, I'm a threat. So I'd probably like, this one would be great if, like, when Thrawn would return, this one would be a great ship. This one also would be a great ship if Thrawn returned, but this one's more, like, less of a threat for the New Republic to say, oh, we gotta hunt this ship down. So I would say this ship early on with 2 bomber squadrons and 2 interceptors. Just fill it up as much as possible with those 2. But for this one, it would be only TIE fighters. And these are not like full squadrons. So you're not getting full squadrons. So like a TIE interceptor, you're probably getting only 2 to 3 pilots for a squadron. And for TIE fighters, you're only getting probably, again, 3 or less of a squadron. And those lander class shuttles, you're only getting 1. And if I did have a Star Destroyer, I would only have lander class shuttles. So this thing would be like your battleship if need be, but also it can be invasion force. And I would have it the refit version. So I would have it that refit version on it, because it's more of a frontal F.A.R. dice. That's for Empire, Star Wars Armada version, but it's shown as it's more of a far range style instead of a close range. And I feel like it might be a little too much for the Gazantis. Since Moff Gideon only had like maybe 5 Gazantis, maybe 6 Gazantis in total. So that would be like 3 Gazanti groups I would only have. And maybe a light cruiser or 2. And possibly not even that or that. But I'm going a little bit out of canon. Maybe Moff Gideon was less, because you never really heard of Moff Gideon. Pelion I feel like Pelion would maybe have a Star Destroyer or something bigger waiting. Obviously, if you had a Star Destroyer, I mean, that skeleton crew would be insanely short, and you would barely have enough people to even run it. It would just be more like a space station until it needed to be actually used for combat. Same with this thing. This thing's more like a space station command center. Just waiting to be ready to be used. That, obviously, that could be a command station or run it, fly in, drop your ships, jump out, and then wait till the interceptors and the bombers do their job, then jump back in and obviously disappear. The light cruisers would mostly be main for supply attack runs for the New Republic. And then the Gazantes would just be scouts or protecting planets that are still in our control, but we don't want to show that we're a big threat. But yeah. Instead of a Star Destroyer, it could be a Victory, so it's less of a threat. Or an Interdictor, because that's only 600 meters. That's like a quarter of that size, so that wouldn't be that bad either. There was another ship. Not sure. Oh, okay. But yeah, that would be pretty much this video. Again, like to hear your comments on this one. I think it is probably maybe a little too much. Again, these 3 ships are a maybe, but all these ships, these what I would like to have. Like, that's keyword, like to have, because you would have 6 planets under your control with a small garrison. Then you would have like a fleet with 3 light cruisers and a command, which is a little bit bigger, as like an attack force. So, of course, you would have to know your position and everything in Star Wars to accurately decide on what it is. But this is just a hopes that you can have a good fleet. Alright, that's it for this video. Again, I'd like to hear your comments on this one. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.